Oh, good morning, my fine, beautiful people. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Yankees universe, stand up. KOD Nation, stand up. And all you Degens, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to this Tuesday, March 7th edition of the Yanks Morning Brew. It feels like I haven't done a Tuesday in like almost a month. But shout out to the chat before we continue. Let's start off with the roll call. We got Anthony Medina's in the building. Anthony Medina, what it do? Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. My guy, Mikey Mazza and the 4 Train Express is in the building. Tyler Tabbitt's in the building. G-Man for Life's in the building. Ocean Views and Coffee Crew is in the building. I got my nice little iced coffee. Hold on one second. And if you guys can't, this nice little Knicks tumbler, we will be having some Yankee ones where you guys can order and have your own brew crew cup. Shout out to FJ in the chat. My brother FJ's in the building. What it do? Jiggerman Porto Pots and Pans is in the building. What are we doing? What are we doing? But guys, I know it's Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday. I haven't done the Tuesday show in about 2 or 3 weeks because of personal stuff. But we are here, Yankee fans. I got a special little treat for you, right? Got to call one of my homies to help me host the show. I'm gonna bring in my guy TC Stills. Good morning, TC. How you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. It's funny because you and I, when we was backstage, we were talking about Anthony Medina and about how
Yeah,
we hardly see him on at 11 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, maybe because he's at work. But Anthony Medina was the first one in the chat. Anthony
there
Medina,
he
how you
is.
doing? Uncle Tats and the Pinstripe Chronicles is in the building. What it do? Salute, salute, salute. But TC, appreciate you for taking this time out this morning, helping me with this hosting situation. This is something I'm
Yep.
going to be doing towards the season and going forward. Maybe every Tuesdays and Thursday have a different special guest host with me, or I just keep it with TC because I like my guy TC. But good morning, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Oh
Looking
wait,
forward to
Jigga
this,
Man.
talking some Yankee baseball.
Jigga Man's making fun of me because he's like, Hector's been doing a lot when his name says Knicks Morning Brew and not Yanks Morning Brew. You are absolutely right, brother. So let me change that real quick to Yanks Morning Brew. Hector, I see you. But yeah, LI Yankee King is in the building. What it do, LI? What it do? Salute, salute, salute. And also, guys, if you guys can, hit that like button for the boys as you guys come into the chat. And as well, if you are watching over on the Knights of Dejan channel, because that's where we started at. But if you're watching on the Knights of Dejan channel, come on over to the Morning Brew Sports, subscribe to the new channel, come join the conversation. It's going to be a good one. But TC, bro, let's continue the conversation we was having from Thursday from the open panel, right?
Right.
When it comes to spring training, right? Let's start with the fifth starter job, because that's something that we need to figure out who's going to be the fifth starter for this Yankees rotation. Who
Of
do you
course.
see right now? It's been several days. We've had Herman have an extra start. Carlos Rodon got lit up in his start.
hmm
Who are you seeing could win that job as a fifth starter in this rotation?
I'm still liking Clark Schmidt because,
Mm-hmm.
like I was saying Thursday, Herman is good. He's a good bullpen piece. And talking about the roster construction, they're going to keep extra pitchers, to start the season. I think he fits in either a sixth starter or the long man. So I prefer to see Clark Schmidt start and be in that rotation. I mean, Herman's not he's not a slouch, but I think I like him starting out in the bullpen.
Mm. All right. When it comes to Schmidt, because we all know the Yankees. If they could get Clark Smith to be in that rotation, they probably would. If you was to ask the Yankees front office, they probably want Clark Smith over Domingo Herman. But Domingo Herman, he has won 18 games one time in
Yeah,
the season. He's been a starter for multiple seasons. This is not like he's trying to build up stamina to be a starter. So he slightly has the edge over Clark Smith because the Yankees like
right.
to go with proven commodities. But when it comes to Clark Smith, I've been impressed what I've seen with him from his cutter. He has a lot of late movement on that cutter so far this
Mhm.
spring training. I would just go opposite. I would rather have Domingo Herman in the rotation and have Clark Smith come out the bullpen and be that guy that could go 2, maybe 3 innings if we need him, and kind of be a Michael King 2.0 coming out of that bullpen. What do you feel about that or that option?
I'm good either way. I mean, they both are great options. I honestly think they might do six-man rotation to start.
Yeah, same. And a lot of people, there was somebody who was going back and forth with me on Pete's channel when it comes to the 6-man rotation. But if you think about it, right, not the conventional 6-man rotation, right? Let's think outside the box, Yankee fans, right? And let's just have this conversation. When we talk about a 6-man rotation, it wouldn't be your conventional 6-man rotation, because I still want to keep Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon on their 5th day. I want them to go every 5th day. I want Nestor Cortez and Luis Severino, because they have that injury history, especially Nestor Cortez. He's still trying to stretch himself out as a starter. This will be his 2nd year as a full-time starter. Luis Severino has those injuries issues. So let them go every other 6 days so they can stay fresher towards the postseason. What's your takes on that, bro?
No, exactly. You nailed it. Nestor's coming back from the hamstring little scare there, and they need to keep him fresh. And Severino, we know how his injuries pile up every single season. So yeah, that's a definite plus to have 2 swing guys like that to insert. We have to have depth.
You can keep Cole on his normal 5th day. Same thing with Carlos Rodon. Then you could utilize Nestor Cortez and Luis Severino in different situations, right? Because when it comes to Luis Severino and Nestor Cortez, if you could have Luis Severino, Nestor Cortez pitch against the opposing team's number 3 starter, or number 4 starter, the favor, if you go into the betting odds, would be in our favor over the opposing team, right? So if you could just flip-flop them and just have them moving around in the rotation during the week, so that way when you have a 3-game series or a 4-game series, you can actually count on Nestor Cortez and or Luis Severino to be one of those closing starters when it comes to the 4th game of that series or the 3rd game from that series, which normally 5 times out of 10 is the pivotal game of the series, because you can either split the first 2 games, and that last game of the series is a pivotal game of the series. And it's not about just winning games during the season, it's winning your series as well during the season.
Exactly. Yep. Also, based on the lineups they're going to face, maybe Schmidt looks better against the Rangers than he does the Indians, or something. So
yeah.
And they love numbers. They love to crunch those numbers.
My guy Li Yankee King. This is why I love my guy Li. He said, I disagree. I would keep Cole and Rodon with 6 days, because it gives Cole and Rodon more rest and they can save bullets for the postseason. When it comes to Rodon, maybe yes on Rodon, because Rodon does have a history of injuries as well, dating back to his days with the Chicago White Sox. So yeah, I see what you're saying with that. To start the season, maybe, but when we start gearing up towards the middle of the season, I would say you have Cole and Rodon on their normal 5-day rotation start. Li, I see what you're saying, and I understand the theory behind it. Shout out to my man Sunil in the chat. Sunil, what it do, my guy? But I understand what you're saying, Cole. I mean, Li. But I would just rather, at the beginning of the season, you can say that. But towards the end of the season, I need Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon to be their number 1 ace type stuff, right? I need them to be ready for the postseason. So getting them ready for the postseason is more important for me, because if we have a 5-game series or a 7-game series, I want Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon to at least pitch twice in a 7-game series. That's all I'm looking for. If we have a 7-game ALCS against the Houston Astros, I need Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon to at least pitch twice in that series. What about you, TC?
Yeah, that's what they're here for. That's the in the postseason, you need 2 studs like that, and we've been waiting for that, and now we do. And let's put it together. Let's use this to our advantage. This is a good time to take advantage of it, and let's get our offense going, and let's advance past the Astros. Jeez.
Yeah, because that's what we have to do. We have to be able to exercise the demons when it comes to the Houston Astros. We gotta how would I say we have family members. Damn, I forgot the Spanish term for it. Un limprecito. How do you say it, TC? Help me out real quick.
Oh, I don't know. You got me there.
No, but we
I'm
get a little.
Italian, so I don't know any.
No, I'm just joking, just joking. No, but we need to be able to exercise our demons when it comes to the Houston Astros. They are our Achilles heel. They are our evil enemy. If this is an anime, they are the evil anime villain when it comes to the Houston Astros. The New York Yankees, we are to the Houston Astros what the Minnesota Twins are to us and have been to us for the past 20 years, right? And the Astros right now, I'm a little bit scary because their offense, adding Abreu to that offense makes it just so much scary. Shout out to my man James Cook in the chat, because literally he just said what I just said. The Astros are on a different level, and they are. They are. Hopefully Brian Cashman didn't go into this season or didn't go into this offseason with the idea of we're going to be better than the Astros if they regress. We can't have that mindset. We got to build the team to beat them, not hope that they regress. What do you think about that, bro?
Yeah, we gotta play to our standards, and not keep looking up to these other teams. We've never done that in the history of it being the Yankees. Everybody's always looked up to, oh, how are we gonna beat the Yankees? What are we gonna do? We're gonna, do more, small ball. We're gonna be more home run, and the Yankees having to try to chase down Houston, and then they change, sometimes they'll change their approach, like when Tampa Bay was doing what they were doing, Yankees started trying to, oh, let's do this, let's do the shift, no, let's just be the Yankees. Let's yeah, let's go out there and you know, play our game, you know. Let's mix it up. We got home run hitters, but let's throw in some small ball too, you know.
Yeah.
Keep them off guard, because I guarantee you, when if we do more small ball, they're not expecting it.
Especially now with the new rule changes. I'm not sure if any of you guys saw it, but I think it was the St. Louis Cardinals that they did the switch. I mean, the shift. They
Yeah.
shifted during the game, but what they did was they brought the left fielder all the way into play where the second baseman would play last year, right? And they just shifted that infield a little bit. If they're gonna lose their left fielder, right? If an opposing team is gonna give you all that space and left field, you better start bunting that ball down the line.
Yeah.
Right. I understood it, before. Yeah, okay. A double, you may be able to get a double. But if you put that ball down the line right now, you're guaranteed a triple. From the amount of ground I think even Jason Giambi will be able to leg out a triple from the
Yeah.
amount of ground the center
Right.
fielder has to make up trying to get to left field to get that ball, which it takes about the rule changes so far in the shift from that game.
Well, I liked that there's no shift. I was tired of the shift. But again, I see teams, they're going to combat that. And I
Yeah.
saw a game where Joey Gallo was up, and the left fielder played center field, the right fielder played right field, and then they had a rover right behind the second baseman. And I see teams, they're going to do that, and they're going to force the Yankees to hit to the opposite field. And if you can't do that, you have no business being in this lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah, like one thing, and I'm not sure if it ticked you off, but one thing that ticked me off, and I want your opinion on the TC, was Mark Teixeira, right? Mark Teixeira, phenomenal Yankee, injuries towards the end of his career. We get that. World Baseball Classic, breaking his wrist or whatever, we understand that. But Mark Teixeira coming out when teams were shifting against him, and then they started heavily shifting against him, he said that he couldn't hit towards left field, that he's not paid to hit towards left field. He's paid to hit the ball out of the ballpark. But then Paul O'Neill said, well, you're a major league hitter at the end of the day.
Right.
If you can't hit it towards left field, why are you even playing the game? What's your takes on that,
Right.
real quick? That conversation or that back and forth between Paul O'Neill and Mark Teixeira.
No, I get what they're saying. I mean, they're paid to hit the home runs. They're paid to do their what their most, their best ability is pull the ball. But if you just start one or two times just laying a bunt down, showing that you're going opposite field, guess what? Those fielders move back over, and now you can do your game. It only takes one or two times.
Yeah.
And you know, I've seen it. I've seen it done. I've seen. I don't know. I can't think of who the last one that did it. Um, but I remember a game where
Mhm.
somebody laid a bunt down or just chopped it to the opposite field, and this fielders the next at bat moved right over. So
Yo, Sunil, I swear to God, bro, you just be having me cracking up in the morning. Shout out to my guy Hello in Backstage Baseball. Hopefully, oh wait, I think there's no school this morning, so I think that's why he's able to be in the chat. So Hello, what it do, what it do? And if you guys missed it, we got a new show that's on Sundays. Right, it's with myself, it's with Jiggaman, and it's with Halal. It's called The Old, The Future, and The Prime. It's over on Grunt Talk Baseball, Grunt Baseball. Make sure you guys follow us and support us over there on that channel. Shout out to my little guy Halal. Hope all is well. Salute, salute, salute. I just want to touch on a few things in the chat. Of course, Li Yankee King. It wouldn't be a Yankees Morning Brew if we don't have one comment from Li Yankee King, either advocating for Estevan Florio or advocating for Manny Acta. So if you have Manny Acta on your bingo card this morning, scratch it off because Li already hit that one. Jacob Petruzzi is in the chat. Jacob, what it do? He says, Hack and TC, what it do, what it do, what it do. He said, I would love to co-host one. Oh, Li, don't worry. You'll be able to co-host one of these with me. Guarantee, guarantee. But let's take it back just a little bit because that was a great rebuttal for the whole conversation, Paul O'Neill, Mark Teixeira, because these are major league ball players at the end of the day. You know, I feel that, and this is just me, but like you said, you have to put it in the back of the mind of the opposing team. It's a cat and mouse game at the end of the day. Baseball, it's 20% physical, 80% mental. It's all a cat and mouse game. It's just like
yep.
TC, if you're facing a pitcher, you got a split second to decide whether it's a fastball at 96 miles an hour or a curveball at 78 miles per hour. It should be the same thing when you're at bat and they're shifting on you. If you see that they're pulling all the way to the right side and they're giving you that space, just put the bunt down. That way, like you said, when you come up the next time, they're not going to shift on you because they don't want to give up the double. And if they do give up, and if they do want to keep shifting on you, then keep hitting it down the line.
Right.
If you don't have 40 home runs at the end of the season with a 250 batting average, you have a 320 batting average with 20 home runs, give or take.
Yeah, you got to take what they give you, and this is a team game after all. It's not your individual stats. You guys want to make you got to make it to the World Series. You're gonna have to contribute
Look,
your own.
like my guy 19 comments said, Jeter should come over and teach how he rolls his hands over and sees he'll be able to go to opposite field. Absolutely. And that was one thing about Derek Jeter. When you listen to Derek Jeter talk, Derek Jeter kept saying he says that he was guessing almost in every at bat. He was guessing where the pitch was going to be. That's why his approach was up the middle and to right field. He said if he went up there trying to pull every ball, he would have never had 3,000 hits. And that's a fact.
Exactly. You can't get 3,000 hits by just being a pull hitter. There's no way. Look at all the old greats: Wade Boggs, Kirby Puckett, Don Mattingly. Those guys hit 300 and they went all over. Tony Gwynn, they hit everywhere.
And we understand the pitching in 2023 is a lot different than the pitching from the 1980s, right? We get that. But at the same time, you should still be able to have the same approach because Tony Gwynn, he went up there with the idea of him to hit to the left field. I mean, to hit to opposite field, to hit to left field as a left-handed hitter, right? He went up there with that mindset. He didn't go up there with the mindset of Joey Gallo. I'm going to either hit a home run or strike out 30 to 40% of the time. That's not what he went up there. That wasn't his approach. That wasn't Don Mattingly's approach. That wasn't even though Reggie Jackson struck out tremendously and was a home run power hitter, he still had a high batting average.
Yeah.
When it came down to it. Right. So like James Cook says, if Judge can hit the ball opposite field to short porch, then why can others hit the opposite field just to get a hit? Absolutely. Exactly. Shout out to my guy, Jay Boogie in the chat. Jay Boogie, salute, 3 capital S's. But TC, I want to ask you because Carlos Rodon didn't make his first spring training start. He got lit up. Same thing like Luis Severino, who made his second spring training start and he got lit up again. What's your take from those two? Do you think it's just something to concern us, or it's just, hey, it's Rodon's first outing. He was just focused on trying to just paint the strike zone. What's your take on that, bro?
Well, shoot, the season's over. No, I'm not. This is spring training. I'm not panicking about a first spring start. So Rodon's getting the rust off. Severino, I'm not worried at all. Those guys, they could get bombed all spring training. I guarantee
Hmm.
first game out, Rodon throws, a two-hitter. So,
Yeah,
I'm not worried about it. I'm just concerned about the health of these guys. That's all. Get
yeah,
out of the spring training healthy. We've had before, backstage we talked about Canley got hurt. So,
yes.
let's just keep these guys healthy. Let's just get through the spring. You know, it's spring training. They're trying all different things. I'm sure it's, trying different pitches, trying, different locations. They're working with new catchers. You know, I'm not I'm not freaking out. So, uh, I don't know. What do you think? Let's see
Um,
what you
for
say.
for me, hold on, Mikey Mazza. He said hitting to all fields is baseball 101. Go with the pitch and don't try to overthink, and don't do too much with that pitch. Tony Gwynn struck out so little because he went with every pitch he
Hmm.
saw. Absolutely. For me, when it comes to Rodon and for Severino, I feel the same way. TC. Rodon's his first start of spring training. The season's not over. The contract wasn't a disgrace. This is not
Hmm.
Kevin Brown 2.0. Don't think that. No, not whatsoever. But when it comes to Rodon, he's just trying to find the strike zone in his
Yep.
first outing. Would I have loved to see him just strike and mow everybody down? Absolutely. But after that first inning, he did get a couple of strikeouts in that second inning, right? So I'm good
Hmm.
with Rodon when it comes to that. Severino, on the other hand, I'm not sure if Severino was just because it looked like he was working on his changeup exclusively and his
Hmm.
outings that he's had, and he was throwing his changeup more than anything else. His fastball is what he got teed up on, but he was throwing his changeup more than anything. So I'm not sure if he was just trying to work on his arsenal, and the same thing like Carlos Rodon, just flood the strike zone, just build your arm strength up for the season. When it comes to the season, I'm not worried about Severino or Rodon or even Nestor Cortez or Garrett Cole. Our top four starters, I'm not worried about it. I'm focused on that fifth spot. And that
Yeah.
fifth spot is what worries me because if we had Frankie Montas or who should not be named, we're gonna call him
Yeah.
Voldemort from now on. If we had Frankie Montas at the end of that rotation, we would have had a bullpen that had extra arms with Clark
Right.
Smith and Domingo Herman.
Yeah.
Now we have to go into our bag. Now we have to go into our depth. Now it makes us a little bit weaker. Then you throw into that the injury with Tommy Kahnle. Now you don't know how long he's going to be out because
Hmm.
we were all expecting Tommy Kahnle to help booster our bullpen and
Right.
help us out for the season. Now he's going to be out. Not sure if he's going to miss the first month of the season or the first 2 months of the season. I'm not sure how bad that injury is, but hopefully a lot of the guys that we've seen with the Yankees in spring training that are from the minor leagues, like Gomez and other guys, they did open some eyes. They had a
Yeah.
left-handed pitcher that after Luis Severino, I'm forgetting his name, but after Luis Severino was lit up, that guy came in. He pitched 4 innings, 4 one-hit innings. Gave up. He struck out 4 guys, no runs, no walks, nothing like that. So
Yeah.
that was phenomenal. So hopefully the Yankees do have some depth in the minor league system that we do not know about. Hector, the way you called him Voldemort, it makes us think Heath Ledger should have been casted in, in Harry Potter. Yeah, there you go. Cordero looked solid. Heck,
Yeah.
absolutely. So the
Brito.
Yankees, he may be able to have some guys in the minor league systems that be able to surprise some people and knock on the door because we all was upset with Brian Cashman because he traded away a lot of our pitching depth in order to get Frankie Montas. But I think there's some guys in the system that are going to be sleepers and open some eyes this season. What are your takes on that, bro?
Oh yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised with some of these young arms. Yeah, and Matt
Mm-hmm.
Crook is another one, lefty.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, you said Cordero, Brito. There's been a
Johnny Brito looked really good. He
yeah,
looked really good.
yeah. There's been a couple other ones too. So I don't have a problem with them bringing up one or two of those guys to slot in for a bullpen for for Canley for a while.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't our concern. We've talked about it for a long time. Our pitching is our strong point. It's the offense. So
Yes.
I'm not worried about the fifth starter. We have the best four starters I think we've had in ages.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, these young kids, give them a shot. They're hungry. I love bringing up the young guys. They
Yeah.
want to prove a point.
Yes.
Why always go for these older veterans that they try to bring in that are over the hill? And you know, forget it. Just these young kids are trying to make a name for themselves. You know, just do it.
Perfect segue. And shout out to my guy Halal. He said, Hector, I wanted to join, but my parents said I gotta chill today. Listen, Halal, you can join whenever your parents say it's okay for you to join. You know, you always got a spot here with me. But no, I agree with you, bro. The Yankees, they need to play these young kids. And it's the perfect segue to have the conversation for both left field and for shortstop, right? Because when it comes to left field, when it comes to the outfield, Jasson Dominguez has really opened up some eyes. He is hitting over 400. He has 4 RBIs. He has 2 home runs. He has a couple of stolen bases. He has about 3 to 4 walks. The way that and the thing that impresses me the most about Jasson Dominguez is that he is having professional at bats. He is literally putting together. He's not going up there and looking foolish. He's not going up there and being over challenged or overmatched from the opposing teams.
Right.
He's not going up there and just seeking a fastball. No, the home run he hit against the Braves, it was on a breaking ball that was at his ankles, low in the strike zone at his ankles. He dug that out of the strike zone, looked like he was swinging golf, and he hit that as a moonshot. So
On
when it
2
comes
strikes
to
too, I think.
on 2, it was 2-2. Yeah, on a 2-2 count as well. So when it comes to Jasson Dominguez, and we'll get to Volpe in a second, but I want your take on Jasson. Do you think the Yankees will pull the trigger during the season to call him up? Because I don't think he's not going to break camp with the team, no matter how good he's playing. Like, and I've said this, if he hits over 400, he's going to put some pressure on the Yankees. But what's your take on Jasson Dominguez? Do you think they'll pull the trigger during the season, or it's just a wait and see approach when it comes to him?
With Dominguez, I'm for sure he's starting in AAA. If there happen to be a couple injuries, he probably would be brought up for the outfield, you know, for an outfield spot. But I think give him he hasn't been in AAA. This will be his first year,
Yeah,
right?
he was in AA
Yeah,
with Somerset. Yeah.
right. So give him, start him off in the season, see how he does. I mean, he'll have his struggles, but if he's tearing it up by May, June, they might need to consider bringing him up. I mean, he's going to force himself into the lineup because I don't know
Yeah.
how much more these fans can take a Hicks because you know, and I'm already tired
We
of
saw it.
mentioning his name.
You
Yeah,
saw it last
yeah.
night's game when he
He
dropped
dropped the
that
ball,
ball again.
first batter of the game. You know, it's like, are you kidding me?
You
You
can't
know,
make
he's
that up. You
no,
can't
but
make that up. You
you
can't
can.
make you can't make this entire Aaron Hicks situation, the circus show that's Aaron Hicks. You cannot make it up because this spring training, he kind of looked like he was coming back with a vengeance. He has a few hits. He's hitting over 300. He had a home run the other day as well from the from the left hand side of the plate. So I mean from the left hand side of the plate. So it looked like he was making his way back. But then last night happened, and then even if in his at bats he got one single, but it was a race with a double play right after that, right?
Yeah.
So even when he tries, he just can't help himself. He literally can't help himself. And I see somebody in the chat, my man Anthony Medina, he said Dominguez at bats are very good. His defense needs work. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you're going to get that defense from Aaron Hicks in left field, I'd rather Jasson Dominguez be out there and try to learn his position instead of
Yep.
Aaron Hicks doing that foolery that he did last night.
Exactly.
Because when it comes to Dominguez, right, and this is one thing people aren't put it in the conversation when it comes to Dominguez, he's doing all of this, right, while still missing a whole year of development when he was 18 years old because of COVID.
Right. COVID. Yep.
He's everybody kept Brandon Dominguez as a bust.
He's only 20 years old.
He just turned 20. He's
Yeah.
literally just turned 20. So people kept blaming, oh, he's a bust. Oh, his first year when he was 19, he was horrible. Last year, you know, whatever. But he's showing that you need development. And him missing a big year of development when he was 18, it showed in his first year as 19. It showed he didn't see live at bat. And I understand everybody had to deal with it. I get that. But as an 18-year-old, if you're somebody who's 21 or 22 who's used to being in the minor leagues for a couple of seasons already, you could deal with that. But a kid who just got signed literally right out of the Dominican Republic at 18 years old, you have to factor that in when trying to break down or analyze or give your take on Jasson Dominguez. What's your take on that, bro?
Oh, definitely. He's
Mm.
he's got a high ceiling. I mean, he's 20. They said he's the youngest guy in camp.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you could see he's made such a tremendous jump. Just his professional at bats. Somebody worked with him. Somebody said you gotta be more disciplined, and you can
Mm-hmm.
see it. You can see it.
Yeah.
It's night and day.
Yeah, and then seeing him in the outfield with Bernie Williams, and Bernie Williams even saying that, yo, this kid is special. This is Bernie Williams. He doesn't give praises to many kids in camps. We've
No.
had years when you've had Bernie Williams working with Melky Cabrera. He never gave Melky Cabrera those praises. Years of him working with Robinson Cano, never did this. And we know what Robinson Cano turned out to be.
Yeah.
Even Melky Cabrera won a batting title with the Giants, even though he juiced or whatever that season. But even he won a batting title as well. This is the first time Bernie Williams has come out and advocated for a prospect and said, this kid is going to be special. And like they said in the chat, Bernie wasn't 20 when he arrived to spring training. He was a lot older than what Jasson Dominguez is right now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I mean, and these type of players don't come around every every
No.
day. So
Mm-mm.
when you
Mm-mm.
find one like that, and you have professional players saying that high praise, it means something.
TC, I want to ask you this. And people in the chat, let us know as well. I see a few people in the chat. I'll chime into them, but I want you guys to answer this. If the Yankees would have traded Jasson Dominguez for Brian Reynolds, right? Just say Jasson Dominguez, Brian Reynolds, and a bunch of other prospects. If
Mhm.
Jasson Dominguez was performing like this for the Pittsburgh Pirates in their spring training, what would be the state of the Yankee fan right now? I want to
They
ask you,
they
TC.
they'd probably be upset. They'd be upset that we gave up too much for Reynolds, and then Reynolds ends up fading out like
Because if you look at
most of the
Brian
time.
Reynolds, you look at Brian Reynolds spring training, he's not having like a
No,
standout spring training right now at this moment. So if Jasson Dominguez was going off for the Pittsburgh Pirates like he is right now, Yankee fans, exactly.
they'd be pulling their hair out.
Uncle Tash just said, we'll be
Mm.
pissed. L.I. Yankee King said, I'll be pissed. Ocean Views, oh my God, exactly. If the Yankees would have traded Dominguez and Volpe
Yeah,
for Brian Reynolds, you guys would be losing your damn mind right now because both those players are playing tremendously. TC, let's pivot over to Anthony Volpe before we come back to left field, because I just want to talk about the prospects before we actually get into the conversation from left field. So now that we segue into Anthony Volpe, what's your thoughts on Volpe now?
he's impressed me from the first day. He looks great. He's not overmatched. He's spraying the ball everywhere. He's hitting for power. He's got speed. He's stealing. I mean, he's legit. He's. I mean, it's going to be hard to keep him down.
Yeah.
Uh, they have one. If they get rid of IKF somehow, trade. I know the Rockies and some Dodgers should actually trade
Well,
for him.
they said according to some Dodgers beat writers yesterday, they put it out last night. The Dodgers are actually heavily pursuing IKF right now
Yeah.
at the moment. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, no. If that happens, Volpe's breaking camp with the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the team. He's
Mm-hmm.
he's a little more uh, advanced than Dominguez.
Yeah.
Dominguez needs some time in AAA.
Mm-hmm.
Volpe's done with it. He's ready. You can
Mm-hmm.
see it. Um, I don't see him coming out of camp, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be so hard to keep him down.
Yeah, it's because I agree with you. It's going to be hard to keep him down. If you, myself, and Li and the people in the chat, if we were running the Yankees, we would have Volpe breaking the camp
Yeah.
with team. But we understand that baseball is a business. We understand these players are just commodities to the business, and we understand you have to manipulate and be able to do everything you can to try to maximize what you can get out of your commodities. So if a rule is in place that if you send a guy down to the minors for like a couple of weeks and you bring him back up, your service time is still cool. It's still lined up for 6 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to manipulate the service time, and that's a rule that's there for a reason, then they're going to try to manipulate the service time to get that extra year out of Volpe, right? So go ahead,
I got
TC.
something to add. Yeah, I want to ask you. So say they did bring up Volpe. Would you rather have him ride the bench, or would you rather him in AAA getting an everyday start?
If they bring up Volpe, I need Volpe to be starting at the major league level. But from what you just said, I would rather Volpe I'd rather Volpe in AAA, getting his at bats, getting his
Mhm.
work in, instead of just being on the major league roster and sitting on the bench like
Right.
the Yankees did with Oswald Peraza towards the
Mhm.
end of the season
Yeah.
before they actually played them in the postseason. So
Right.
definitely, I would want Volpe to get his work in the minor leagues in AAA to work himself up to the major league level.
Well, who do you think he supplants? The Glaber? You think he's
Like you
third
said,
base?
IKF, right?
I mean, you
And
got Peraza at short, and you got
mhm,
Glaber at second. You got
you,
Donaldson at third.
the Yankees will definitely are going to try to move Gleyber Torres. If I'm the
Mm,
Yankees, Torres is at a high value mark right now, right?
right.
It's not what it was a couple of seasons ago when he hit 38 home runs, but it is the highest it's been since then, right?
Yeah.
So if Gleyber Torres, who's having an okay spring training, if he starts the season off good, right, the first month of the season, if a trade lines itself up for maybe a fifth starter or maybe a bullpen arm, if we don't find that extra lefty reliever from our system, then maybe we could trade Gleyber Torres for a lefty reliever. That way, Wandy's not our only lefty coming out of the
Right.
bullpen. If we're able to do something like that, then sign me up. Then have Volpe come up, play second base, Paraja at shortstop, and rotate DJ LeMahieu when he have to rotate DJ LeMahieu between second, third, and first base.
Hmm.
That's what I would do. So I want to give a quick
Yeah.
shout out. Shout out to my man Mitchell Fernandez is in the building. Mr. Fernandez, how are you doing? Salute, salute, salute. I see we got 20 people in the building right now. If you guys can, hit the like for the boys while we have this conversation. And if you aren't sub to the new channel, sub to the new channel. And I
Uh-oh.
apologize.
They're coming for you?
NYPD, they coming for me. They coming for me. The Yankees have sent them to come and arrest me right now.
You-
No, but go ahead, TC.
no, I was gonna say you're saying bad things about Hicks. They're coming to arrest
Yeah,
you.
that's what it was. Aaron Hicks just put an APB
Aaron
out for
Hicks,
me.
yeah.
That's exactly what it was. But when it comes down to conversation for shortstop, right? And let's pivot over there before we get back to left field. Volpe, Peraza, and IKF. If this is a competition and we're just going off of competition, the best person wins the position. You will have to give it to Volpe because Volpe has
Hmm.
performed better than Peraza and IKF in spring training with his at bats. Right?
Right.
I think IKF probably got a couple of hits in spring training so far. Volpe is killing it right now.
Hmm.
Defensively, Volpe is killing it as well. Now,
Yeah.
there's been some plays, bang bang plays that went the other way that Volpe didn't get the person out. I'm not putting that much on arm strength. I'm putting that on the bases are bigger.
Mm,
The bases are a lot bigger this year. Is that
right.
extra little 3 inches, that bang bang play that we always saw last year, that you had to bring it down to the camera, that was an eyelash shot. That's going to be a safe call now. That's going to be an infield single.
Yeah.
So I don't give that much on arm strength. I give that more on the bases, but it may be an issue that may show up. So you may have Peraza being the shortstop and Volpe the second baseman, or Volpe could be the third baseman. Because if you think of it like this, if you're a third baseman, right, and you're making that dive to your left side or you're making that dive to your right side, it's a lesser throw or it's a
Hmm.
lesser of a length than it
Right.
would be at shortstop if you had to make the dive into the
Yeah. You're
hole at
you're not so
shortstop.
deep in hole. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he may be able to play third base rather
Hmm.
than second base, just like Alex Bregman, who came up as a shortstop. They moved him to third base for that same situation when it comes to his arm strength. But the Yankees have some options. I'm just happy that Volpe, he can play multiple positions. He doesn't look over challenged, and he
Right.
doesn't look like overmatched. What's your takes on that, real quick?
No, you nailed it. Yeah. He's flexible. He can play second, short, third. I'd love to see him start right now at third, and
Mm-hmm.
just I wish they could just cut these guys, but they don't want to make it seem like they made a mistake. Donaldson in that 25 million. I'd cut him now.
Oh yeah,
He wouldn't even make. You're holding back these future Yankees for what? Because you
for
got to
a
save
bat flip,
face. Yeah, you got to
a
save
pop
face.
up, that's a bat flip. That's what you're doing.
Yeah,
That's all you saving it for.
I mean he gives us good defense. I don't want to knock
Mm-hmm.
Donaldson's defense, but so did Gio Urshela.
Mm-hmm.
And why did we get rid of him? He, so it makes no sense. We didn't upgrade our team with Donaldson. Stop
No.
with that. You
No,
know,
absolutely. Couldn't say it any better. Shout out to my man Jarvis LaFleur in the building. Jarvis, what it do? My man 19 comment. He said, Jarvis, I thought you was a Knicks fan. Salute, brother. Jarvis is a diehard Yankee fan as well. My guy. He said 19 Con fan. Salute, brother. I'm a Knicks fan, but I wanted to support Hector. I am a Braves fan, but I respect the Yankees. Jarvis, come on, stop lying. You know you're a secret Yankee fan. Stop your lying right there, brother. But now salute to Jarvis, salute to everybody that's in the chat. But bro, let's pivot back over to left field, right? Because we had the conversations about Volpe and Dominguez, but now let's get to left field and that job. We brought up Aaron Hicks. What's your take on Willie Calhoun, Rafael Ortega, Oswald Cabrera, and who would you put for left field, bro? I want to get your take on this.
who would I put? Aaron Judge, but no. So with what we have, you know, honestly, I would rather put in Cabrera there because he's a better overall player. But I like him. I like him as the Swiss Army knife. Honestly, between the Hicks, Calhoun, and Ortega, Calhoun looks pretty good. I mean, he's not a defensive guy, but neither is Hicks now. So, but Calhoun is showing some. He's showing some pop. He's what, he's batting like 571, I think, in spring. Every time I see him, he's spraying the ball. He's hitting. You know, he's on base. He's driving and runs. So, you know, it's going to make it interesting if they want to keep him. I highly doubt that they go away from Hicks. We know they're going to start Hicks out there. We just, the way it's all developed, you know, panning out right now with the way they're gonna go with Hicks and then see what he gives us and how, I don't know how long they can go, but you know, Ortega's not bad either. You know, some other team's gonna scoop these guys up, so they're not gonna be in AAA. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's a tough call.
It's a tough, because I like both of them out of so far, Willie Calhoun and Rafael Ortega. They're both performing well. Let's see how they look when it's like towards the end of March, you know, when you have 10 games left of spring training. That way we could be able to assess them further.
Right.
Same thing with Volpe and Dominguez, because literally Volpe and Dominguez, they definitely started spring training off well, but they could definitely go hitless for the rest of spring training, right? Yeah. So we gotta have that. That's a realistic view as well. That'd be a long year as well. But we really, in order for us to really evaluate Ortega and Willie Calhoun, we gotta wait till like the last 2 weeks of spring training to see what we have from them. So far, so good. So far, so good. But if we're able to either flip one of them in a trade, I'm not sure how that would work out. But if I had to choose, I would choose Willie Calhoun at this moment, because Rafael Ortega, I love his approach. I love his home run or bust type of approach. But Willie Calhoun, he looks like if he runs into a home run, he runs into the home run. But he's not going up there looking for a home run, if you understand what I'm saying.
Right. No, I agree. Yeah. Ortega has some flash, and Calhoun, you know, he might shock some people. But again, Hicks is already on the roster. They already owe him so much money. It's gonna take a miracle for these guys to, you know, start in left field.
Yeah.
We've talked about it many times on the show that doesn't matter what they do in spring training. The Yankees are so stubborn that they just go with, you know, this was our game plan from the beginning. That's like, why do you even have say it's a competition when you already know, you know, the fans already know. We already know what the line. We could predict the roster before spring training even starts.
Yeah.
You know. So
yeah, I want to switch it over to this conversation because you bring it up. If the Yankees, they gotta switch their approach up, bro. Shout out to Joe McFlies. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Joe McFlies, but he covers the Yankees for John Boy Media. He was just on this past week on WFAN with Evan Roberts, and he made a point that I feel that's something that us Yankee fans need to pressure the front office to start doing. He said, and shout out to Jarvis, because my man Jarvis is a Braves fan, but one thing he said was the Yankees need to start being brave like the Braves. Let the kids play. You got to be brave like the Braves did. Look what the Braves did last year. They call up Michael Harris. Automatically, they're in competition for the playoffs. automatically they won their division, right? So you have to be able to call up your young players, give them that motivation so they can help you during the season. The way the Atlanta Braves has figured that out, the way that their young players, this seems like there's no friction between the front office and the young players. They give them contract extensions so they can avoid arbitration. And when arbitration is done, they're able to re-sign the young player cheaper than what it would be on the open market because they have that relationship with the organization. So when it comes to the Atlanta Braves, Jarvis, they have figured it out, developing the way they handle their money, the way they handle their contracts. They are stacked right now. And as a Yankee fan, I'm kind of jealous the way the Atlanta Braves approach the situation when it comes to their young players. What's your take on that, TC?
Oh yeah, they're smart. They're what we used to be in the late '90s. They have the core team together, and they just kind of find pieces around it, and create a super team, create a World Series contender. And I think the Yankees are heading that way. I mean, for them to keep all these guys, Peraza, Volpe, Dominguez, and they got Spencer Jones in the waiting in the wings. So
Yeah.
they got guys that could be the future. They haven't traded them away, which you could probably say Cashman's doing a good job, in that aspect. But let's let's take the leash off. Let's bring them up. Let's let them play. And yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Tyler, you're hilarious.
That's a good one. But let's just go. Come on, bring these guys in. Let's see what they got. Stop having these guys block the young kids from developing. That they're screwing a lot of them up. And
Yeah.
like we were saying about Peraza, they bring him up and he doesn't play. So what are you doing to the kid? Let's go. These guys are the future. You've already seen what you had with Hicks and Donaldson, IKF. You already know what they're doing. Let's go. Let's move on.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with you whatsoever. I from your mouth to God's ear, hopefully Brian Cashman, or like Tyler Tabbitt said, Brian, and the name after that. But if you guys want, the open panel will be live right now. I just put the link into the chat for the open panel. Just remember the rules and regulations for the open panel. Be kind and respectful for everyone, right? When they give their take, don't cut someone off while they're giving your take, because the same thing will be provided to you. You will have the same amount of time to give your take and give your response. And also, please, guys, we got to follow the rules and services when it comes to YouTube and Twitch terms and services, right? So without further ado, I got to bring in my man, Mikey Mazza, who look like he's on a CIA mission right now with that jacket right there. Mikey Mazza, what it do, brother?
What it do, guys? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. Salute to you. Appreciate you, my guy, taking time out. Mikey Mazza, he's heavy in the chat right now. Let us know what's on your mind, Mazza.
So, I was thinking, brainstorming, wheels returning.
Uh-oh.
And I thought of something. Just playing devil's advocate for a second. Going about how let the kids play. I could see if, let's say, Volpe, Peraza, Dominguez all continued their hot play throughout the spring, get a roster spot. What do you guys think of seeing an outfield of Bader, Judge, and Dominguez, and then as an infield you do Rizzo, Volpe at second, Peraza at short, and then you can either rotate IKF, and then you can rotate IKF, Donaldson, and then DJ at third, have Trevino catch, and then have your rotation as Cole, Rodon, Sevy, and then your fourth and fifth starters.
Well, I'll let TC answer that one. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I'd much rather see LeMahieu start at third rather than Donaldson or IKF. I don't need to see those guys, but if they're rotating, I see no problem with that. I love that.
Same. I like that idea, but Mikey, it's Brian Cashman at the end of the day. If IKF and Donaldson are both on the team, that's something that he's not going to do. If he's able to flip IKF, and it seems like the Dodgers, they want IKF. So if the Yankees are able to get a lefty reliever, because what we need is an extra lefty reliever. We cannot go into the season with Wandy Peralta being our only lefty reliever.
I agree with that.
That's not fair to Wandy Peralta. Wandy was amazing to us. We can't do to Wandy Peralta what Joe Torre did to Scott Proctor. You just can't do that. You can't burn out Wandy Peralta and his arm. You have Wandy Peralta under contract for the next 4 seasons under arbitration control, very cheap contract. So make sure you do not burn this guy out.
When it's fantastic too. He looks
phenomenal.
great.
I swear to God, Wandy Peralta reminds me, TC, of one of these old guys that live in Washington Heights, these old Dominican guys that play dominoes right on the corner. That's exact. All Wandy Peralta is missing is a Presidente in his hand. That's all he's missing, honestly.
or a Four Loco.
Four Loco, that's more my type of thing. He's a Presidente type of guy as a Dominican.
Fair enough,
but
I think he has the world record for a strikeout. What, 20 seconds? You got the guy in 20 seconds?
Yep. 20 seconds.
I swear to God, I'm not laughing at you guys. I'm laughing at Sunil, who's backstage right now, and the name that he just made for himself. But I'm gonna bring up my guy Sunil. Sunil, good morning. Sunil, how are you feeling this morning, brother? Let us know. Don't worry, Sunil. Sunil, I'm making a Kyrie Irving one for you. All right, don't worry.
That's the equivalent to a Houston Astro trash can, basically.
But no, Sunil, good morning. Appreciate you taking time jumping on with us. What's your take so far when it comes to the hemorrhoid situation in left field and these young kids?
Alex, I'll take OpenAI ChatGPT for 500. If I was on Jeopardy and I had that question, that would be my answer straight up. No questions asked.
Well, we see that that's not just water in that water cup for Sunil. He got a little tequila in there as well.
No, it's water. It's water. It's water shaken, not stirred.
Oh, copy. But L.I. Yankee King, he said Torres needs to be on the roster. I'm not having 3 declining players on my roster and DJ, JD, and Aaron Hicks. You know, I understand, L.I., when it comes to DJ, his injuries from last year. I get that. But so far in spring training, and I'll throw it over to TC and then throw it over to Mazza and Sunil. When it comes to DJ LeMahieu, he's turning on that inside fastball with authority as well. He's showing you that he could pull a pitch. Normally, we're used to DJ LeMahieu going up the middle and right field, but he has pulled the pitch a couple of times. I think he's doing that to show people that his foot is healthy. He's able to turn on that inside pitch. What's your take on that, TC? And throw it over to Mazza and Sunil, bro.
Yeah, I'm keeping DJ. I'm not letting him go. He's our best contact hitter. He's either our first or second hitter. He's key to the season being healthy. You could see it last year in the postseason against Houston. We missed him big time, and he gives great defense everywhere. Second, third, first. So there's no way. I'm not. No, he's staying. He's part of the plan. He's not part of the get rid of. No.
I agree, bro. Go ahead, Mazza. I'll save my take for last. Go ahead.
I was going to say he is our version of Ben Zobrist for the Cubs. He played everywhere.
Great point.
He makes contact. He can hit for power if he wants to, but doesn't need to. He goes to all fields. He's 35 or whatever it is he is. Yes, he's had a history of injuries the last couple of seasons, but he is more valuable to me than a lot of the other guys on this team just because of what he brings to the table, because he can be that table setter. That's why he's so important to keep and not just dump because he's got injuries and he's declining. That's not how that works, because no team is going to take a declining player. So to me, DJ LeMahieu and I agree with TC, DJ LeMahieu is the key to this season. If he's healthy and is right, we're good.
Yeah, I agree. Ella, I see what you're saying. You said, what was DJ doing in the postseason to avoid a sweep? We were getting sweep. Listen, DJ LeMahieu, and I'll matter of fact, I'll save my take, Sunil. Let me hear your take, and I'll save it. I'll save my take after you. Go ahead, brother.
2019, Game 6, down 4-2, before Chapman blew it with the Cloud 9 slider. What happened? That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, you
I
ain't
mean,
wrong.
yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
And with any future trades, I got two complimentary pieces for any major league team to take. One is Voldemort, and the other one is LI Guardian King. Trade both of those complimentary. I don't even want anything back. I don't even want a bag of flaming hot Doritos back for those two.
Well, I think right now it's fair to say if we were naming these players after like villains from movies, Aaron Hicks would be Voldemort, right? Josh Donaldson would be the guy at the
I,
end
I
of
thought
the
I thought Chris Bosh was the most athletic Voldemort according to Jimmy Fallon.
no, now Aaron Hicks is Voldemort, right? Josh Donaldson, he's the guy at the end of the original oh my god, what Die Hard movie that's falling. The villain from the Die
Yeah.
Hard movie that's falling. And then
I would have.
IKF.
That's Hans Gruber.
Yeah, Hans Gruber. There you go. Josh Donaldson's Hans Gruber. And I think IKF is either Mr. Smith from The Matrix or he's the person who shot Bambi's mom. Either or, it's horrible. It's horrible. But my take when it comes to DJ LeMahieu is for me, I understand it. Like Mikey Mazza said, he's 34, turning 35. I understand the age is up there. But if I had to choose on who I'm going to rely on out of the three aging AARP members, Donaldson, Hicks, and LeMahieu, I'm choosing LeMahieu. LeMahieu has shown us in the past that he's somebody that you can rely on. Like Sunil said, 2019, he tied it up for us he tied it up for us late in the game before Aroldis Chapman and Gary Sanchez couldn't frame pitches and gave up that walk-off home run. I get that, right? But DJ LeMahieu has shown he is a proven commodity. Like TC still says, our season, we understand Judge is going to do what he does. We understand Rizzo's going to do what he does. But our season is going to depend if DJ LeMahieu is healthy and be that extra piece in our lineup so we don't have to rely on Judge, Rizzo, and Stanton to carry us for the season.
Can I go back to a 1990s analogy for DJ LeMahieu? Anybody remember a classic hitter between Milwaukee and Minnesota, a guy, and also played in Toronto, by the way, guy by the name of Paul Molitor?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh
How-
yeah.
how did-
Very good
Yeah.
comparison.
Yeah. I mean, basically, all right, you have a declining, age factor with this guy, and the injuries are starting to get in there. Maybe you have to give this guy reps at DH. I mean, on days when he's, you have to find a way to get this guy's bat in the lineup, period.
Facts.
Yeah.
Great point. I 100% agree with that. I'll throw it over to TC right after. But when it comes to LeMahieu, if they could just utilize him and have him play 4 to 5 days out the week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Gleyber Torres, same thing to whoever's at third base, and same thing for Anthony Rizzo. If you can have those guys play 4 to 5 days out the week, the days that they're not playing is the days that DJ LeMahieu plays first base, is the days that DJ LeMahieu plays second base, is the days that he plays third base when those guys need to have the days off. You got to be able to have DJ LeMahieu in that lineup 5 times out the week, but like the same time, like Sunil said, have him DH so he can save himself for the postseason. Because when we need him the most is in the postseason. Go ahead, T-Seal. What's your take on that before we jump to the next topic?
Totally agree. I can see, you could put Stanton in right, Judge in left, either way, flip it. You got Bader in center, and DJs can DJ DH. Yeah, definitely. I mean, they have a lot of flexibility with these guys.
That's what Molitor did. Late in his career.
A lot of flexibility.
Yeah, and when Paul Molitor went to Toronto, that's when they won the World Series. That he was that last missing piece that they need in order for them to win the World Series. So that's a great point, Sunil. Home runs are beautiful, right? But contact hitters getting on base, so those home runs, exactly. So those home runs aren't solo shots. It's also great as well. 2004 against the Red Sox, we get it. First 3 games, we killed them. The last 3 games, we didn't get on base. We still hit home runs, but we just didn't get on base during that series against the Red Sox. The one thing that this Yankee team has had for years home run or bust, home run or bust, home
Those
run or
last
bust
four,
mentality.
those last 4 games, we basically were nothing more valuable than a high voltage AC unit as far as our batting goes.
But they got to stop going
Go
to
ahead,
the home
Mazza.
run or bust. They got to
Go ahead,
stop.
Mazza. Go ahead, Mazza. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. It was cutting off real quick. Go ahead.
They got to stop going to that home run or bust. They got to start learning to hit to all fields. Like I said earlier, hitting to all fields is baseball 101. If you look at guys like Derek Jeter, Tony Gwynn, I mean, you could, if you even really wanted to go out on a limb, you could say that, what's his name? Kenny Lofton, Robbie Alomar, guys like that hit to all fields. That's why they were so good. That's why they were so feared at the plate, because they went to all fields. That's what they got to do.
And hold on, but before we continue, and I appreciate you bringing up Kenny Lofton, but can we talk on the fact that Kenny Lofton is not in the Hall of Fame? Like, what is, and he was voted, like, he didn't get enough votes to keep his name on the ballot for the Hall of Fame. TC, I'll start with you. What do you take about that when it comes to the voting for the Hall of Fame? And do you think they need to switch it up? Because you get some players that they get left off. Carlos Delgado is another player that was left off. Bernie Williams is another player. What's your take on that? I know it's a random conversation, but Mikey Mazza brought up Kenny Lofton, and my ADHD mind started going crazy. What's your take, TC?
Well, why don't we have the players vote? You know, I don't know. Maybe that these guys see them, you know, and they work with them, and they see what their work ethic and what they put on, you know, did on the field. To me, he looked like he's a potential. I mean, but honestly, if they're not going to put Don Mattingly in the Hall of Fame, then Kenny Lofton ain't going in the Hall of Fame. So
yeah,
you know, there's you know, these guys that are right on the, you know, the border. So I don't know. He's okay. He was okay. I mean, he had some good seasons. He was a definite great leadoff hitter. Played good outfield, but I don't know. To me, I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer.
See,
Go ahead,
this is
Mazza.
also
Or Sunil, whoever wants to answer that.
not Mazak. Please go.
So I think Kenny Lofton was borderline. I think that if he would have had like 2 or 3 more good, like really good seasons like he had in his prime, then I would say yes. But as for the voting, I think some of these voters just don't watch the game enough to know who actually does produce and who doesn't. And I think that also hurts a lot of these guys. Look at Fred McGriff. I'm gonna take him as a prime example. He hit 493 career home runs, yet he still didn't get on because of, you know, the voters, the baseball writers. He got on after the fact. So some of these voters who do vote and do have the ability to vote, I feel don't watch the game enough to know who actually does what.
Yeah.
I think they hold grudges too. These writers.
Yeah.
Oh
I agree
yeah.
with that.
Oh
100%.
absolutely. Just like the umpires hold grudges. The umpires definitely hold grudges as well. When you look at go ahead, Sunil. I'll let you answer before I give my take. Go ahead, brother.
Oh no, that's fine. Either way. All I was gonna say, I mean, you know, a lot of the things with Kenny Lofton. Uh, he was one of your journeymen, if I'm not mistaken. Cleveland, Atlanta, and then the Yankees. Was there another maybe spot I missed?
Well, he
White Sox.
started
White Sox, yes.
He started
Yeah.
his career with Houston. He was traded to Cleveland, then Atlanta, then back to Cleveland, then the White Sox, then the San Francisco Giants, then the Pittsburgh Pirates, Chicago Cubs, then the New York Yankees.
Oh shit! So he's been all over.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I guess maybe it's the value of the team that he's been on too. People generally tend to look at players who've been on contenders more, you know, into the Hall of Fame context. But then again, why would you look at Andre Dawson then? He was never on a contender. He was on the last place, you know, lovable Cubs. He was on the Expos. He went to the Red Sox briefly.
Yeah.
No playoff contender teams was he ever a part of.
Yep. He in the 90s, 1992, Kenny Lofton won Rookie of the Year. If I just read off his stats for you. So this is a guy that played 17 major league seasons. He has over 2,400 hits. He has over 600 stolen bases. Off of that alone, to me, he's a Hall of Famer.
That I
If you
agree.
have 2,400 hits,
Yes.
over 600 stolen bases, if you look at it, his percentage is in the 80 percentile when it comes to stolen bases. That's a guy that definitely should be in the Hall of Fame. If not in the Hall of Fame, at least still be on the ballot
Yes.
for the potential of the Hall of Fame. Let's just
agree.
look at the chat real quick because a few people would chime it into the chat. Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. I definitely agree. You know, people can say steroids whatsoever. There's no scientific article that has come out that links steroids to hand-to-eye coordination. You could say recovery, I give you recovery, but when it comes to hand-to-eye coordination, there's no scientific report, there's no scientific paper that connects both of them. So you lost me with that. What do you guys take on Barry Bonds? Thumbs up or thumbs down for Hall of Fame?
Yeah,
Copy.
He was great before steroids. Let's just put it that way.
His numbers before the steroids, before he went to San Francisco, is Hall of Fame numbers already. 400
home runs,
400 home runs, 400 stolen bases. Definitely was already a Hall of Fame type of player. Kenny Lofton or Torrey Hunter, who would you have rather have in your lineup?
Lofton.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the dynamic threat that he was on the bases.
Yeah, definitely. Is Trout a terrible player since he hasn't won in the postseason? Come on, Eli, with these takes. You're better than that. But when it comes to Mike Trout, Maz, I'll start with you, throw it over to Sunil, and then back to TC. When it comes to Mike Trout, do you think he has to get that playoff monkey off of his shoulder? He has to actually show up in the postseason before people start, so the critics can back up off him? What's your take on that, Eli?
No, I don't think so. I think he's already proven himself as a player. He's already proven it. He can hit for power. He is the prototypical five-tool player that any team would dream of having.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's had the injuries. That aside, he's the prototypical five-tool player. He hits, he runs, he hits for power, he fields, and he's got a rocket launcher for an arm. To me, right there, that says Hall of Famer right there. Because if he stays healthy for the rest of his career, which I hope he does, can you imagine the numbers he can put up when he's healthy? He played 113 games in one season, and still hit 40 home runs.
Yep,
that's
last
not
year.
heard of.
Imagine just an extra 50 games, an extra 40 games. How many more home runs he would have had? Sunil, same question going your way to throw it over to TC when it comes to Mike Trout. What's your thoughts on Mike Trout and getting that playoff monkey off of his back?
So Mike basically touched on a lot of the points I was going to. I'm just going to add a couple of things to that, saying, can you really control what your ownership is really going to do as far as creating a playoff roster?
Great point.
Number two, yeah, I get the narrative around Mike Trout that he's the Jacob deGrom of the outfield, for his particular team, that he's only available, 30-40% of the time, maybe 50, lately and with his injuries. But you're getting production.
Yeah, agree. TC, same question going your way when it comes to Mike Trout. What's your thoughts?
I'd take 10% of Mike Trout over Aaron Hicks. So that just tells you right there.
Yeah,
I'm out.
With you with that.
But no, I once I saw Mike Trout, I was like, that guy's a Hall of Famer already, first year. But I mean, he's just like Fortre said, he's a five-tool. I would love to have him in. Can you imagine him in our lineup? I mean, if the game's on the line, I'm not pitching to him. He's like Barry Bonds. I'm not even coming close. Walk, you're gone. I'm not even. There's no way. He can hit for power, average, speed, everything. He's got to be one of the top 5 players in the league. I mean, no doubt.
Every time Josh Hamilton came to the plate in the 2010 ALCS, this was Girardi every time.
Yep.
That's exactly what you're going to do to Trout.
Yep. And the crazy thing about it, Mazza, you got a dip?
Yeah, I got to get back to work. I mean,
later, brother.
I turned 34 today. Whoop-de-doo. I'm hitting my midlife crisis.
Hey, happy birthday, Mazza. You should have said something earlier, brother. Happy birthday to my guy, Mikey Mazza. If you guys can, throw the birthday cakes in the chat for Mikey Mazza and your birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you,
44?
brother. 34.
34. You
Wow.
looking young, baby. You
I
looking young,
appreciate
baby.
that. But I got to get back to work. I love all y'all.
Love you
Peace
too,
and love to you
Mazza.
guys. And I will
Hey,
see you next time.
if I was married 17 years early, he's old enough to be my kid.
There you go. Later, brother. Love you,
Later, bro.
guy. Later. When it comes to Ohtani versus Trout, is it fair to say that Ohtani is better than Trout right now?
It's too early in Otani's career. Show me longevity.
Mm. Okay, agree. What about you, TC?
Well, you take in consideration his pitching, but as if you're just talking hitting, it's pretty darn close. I mean, because they both hit for power average. They both are fast. I mean, it's. I don't know. Like Sunil said, let's just get a little more time with
Well,
Ohtani and see.
Otani had that season when he was out for majority of the season. So
Mm-hmm.
already the injury narrative is not favoring him.
Mm-hmm.
And then to what James Cook just said in the chat, like, did you see that home run he hit from his knees?
Oh God,
Dude,
ridiculous.
it seems like Shohei Ohtani's been watching a lot of international cricket matches the way that thing was hit.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And with Disney Plus losing the cricket channel, because everybody, it's funny that people kept saying that, oh, Disney Plus, they lost 3.5 million subscribers. They're going down to 2. They lost the rights to cricket. That's why they lost 3.5 million viewers and subscribers. Because if you just subscribe for just cricket, if you lose cricket, who's going to subscribe to you? So that's the reason why Disney Plus lost it.
Yeah, look at all the ICC cricket nations: England,
Mhm.
South Africa, Zimbabwe, Ireland, Scotland. Well, both Ireland and Scotland just recently joined. Like, those are not the well-established nations. You got New Zealand, you got India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, New Zealand.
Yeah, 100%. When it comes to Mike Trout, and the sad thing about it is, we could all go on the hypothetical. If he was a Yankee, I would love to see him in a Yankees uniform. If we never signed Mark Teixeira, that draft pick, that compensation pick that went back to the Angels was the pick that the Angels used to draft Mike Trout. So just imagine, I know a lot of fans say spend the money. Michael Caputo says spend the money. All these fans say spend the money, spend the money. But look what happened when the Yankees spent the money. In 2009, we won a championship. Absolutely right. But if we would have had Mike Trout on our team for the next 10 seasons, imagine what would have happened. If we were able to have Mike Trout in a lineup with Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez in 2012 against the Detroit Tigers in the playoffs, what would have happened?
Right.
Can you make an argument if we had Trout on those rosters? Does Aaron Judge get anointed captain right now in the aftermath?
That's a great one right there. Because if you look at it, if Mike Trout would have been with the Yankees, the passing of the torch, the passing of the mantle from Derek Jeter to Mike Trout, then you would have had Yankee fans arguing who's better, Mike Trout or Aaron Judge. That would have probably caused friction in the locker room. You never know. So that is a great point, Sunil. What about you, TC? What you thinking?
Yeah, no, great point. I don't think we get Stanton. We wouldn't have Stanton.
We wouldn't need Stanton.
Yeah, you don't need him.
Definitely wouldn't need Stanton. Yeah,
you would have a killer outfield. It's just.
Did you guys see Ken Rosenthal came out a couple of days ago, and he talked about a hypothetical trade between the Yankees and the Braves that almost happened in 2015, 2016, where the Yankees would have sent Gary Sanchez, Luis Severino, Aaron Judge, and a couple of other players over to the Braves for BJ Upton, some horrible pitchers and some minor leaguers. What would have happened?
That didn't happen.
What would have happened, Yankee fans, if that would have happened?
Isn't that going along the lines of why we didn't trade Derek Jeter for Felix Fermin and why Mariano Rivera didn't get traded either? Can you not add this into another one of those sequences of those type of trades not done?
And Jarvis, I know you a Braves fan, bro, but I'm happy the Yankees didn't trade Aaron Judge to the Atlanta Braves. That's the one thing that we could say. Brian Cashman, you did the right thing not making that deal, because when you look at it, when you make some deals, it's a risk factor when it comes to it, especially when it comes to prospects. You're gonna tell me that if the Chicago White Sox, if they could go back to when they traded Fernando Tatis Jr. for James Shield, they would have never made that trade. Just think about it. Fernando Tatis Jr. for James Shield.
Whew.
Wait, who did this trade?
The White Sox and the San Diego Padres, when they first signed Fernando Tatis out of the Dominican Republic at 16 years old, they traded him to San Diego for big game James Shield. And James Shield never pitched 32 games for the Chicago White Sox.
Now, wasn't that, remind me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that the team the year after that broke an 88-year curse? I mean, the Red Sox broke the 86-year curse in 04. White Sox in 05 broke the 88-year curse.
Yeah, that trade happened, I think, in 2015, 2016, around that time. Yeah.
Right. So this was part of a demise in the White Sox thing that's basically, got them sinking or swimming for another 88 years.
Yeah, that's why Ozzie Guillen's not with the team anymore. What's your take on that, TC, before we go? Because there's a lot of trades like that in Major League. Look at the Red Sox traded Jeff Bagwell to the Astros.
Yeah. Sometimes the best deal is the no deal. So, you can, debate it all you want and look forward and see, like we talked about, Caputo wants to buy the championship. That's not always the way to go.
I don't hear that name again,
we would be losing so many players that have so much potential. And some of these free agents, and most of the time when we get them, they're already past their prime. So I'd rather have a 20-year-old Dominguez, a Volpe, a Peraza, a Spencer Jones, just naming.
Oh, I can't wait! I can't wait for Spencer Jones. I can't wait.
I'd much rather have that.
I think Spencer Jones, he's going to like shoot past the minor league system. I think Spencer Jones is going to do the same thing that Cody Bellinger did, because when Cody Bellinger was drafted by the Dodgers, he shot through that system, right? Because he was already an advanced hitter in the minor leagues. So if Spencer Jones, who came out of Vanderbilt, we all know Vanderbilt to be the best baseball program in the entire country when it comes to college players and getting players to the major league level and having players that are already close to being major league ready. So Spencer Jones, he can shoot up the minor league system. When you look at the 2023 Hall of Fame ballot, we got a few players jumping on there for the first time. Carlos Beltran, he's going to be on there for the first time. K-Rod, Francisco Rodriguez, is going to be there for the first time. Houston Streak is going to be there for the first time. Bronson Arroyo, Mike Napoli, John Lackey, R.A. Dickey, Johnny Peralta, J.J. Hardy, Andre Ethier, Jacoby Ellsbury, Matt Cain, Jerry, and Jason. What's your take about this upcoming Hall of Fame voting? You still got Scott Rowland. Well, Scott Rowland was voted in. Todd Helton, Andrew Jones, Gary Sheffield. What's your takes on this next class of Hall of Fame? You got Alex Rodriguez, who's going to be on the ballot for the second time. Manny Ramirez on the ballot for the seventh time. Omar Vizquel, who's as a shortstop, over 3,000 hits. I thought 3,000 was the benchmark to make it into the Hall of Fame. What's going on with Omar Vizquel? What's your guys' take on that?
He definitely belongs. He definitely belongs. There's no question about it. Like you said, that's the benchmark. He's got to be there.
Shout out to our guy Joe from the shift. He said Caputo is my last name as well, guys.
Oh boy.
You're the good one. You're the good Caputo, bro. You're the good Caputo.
Okay. He who shall not be named shall be referred to as Voldemort from now on, Joe. Yeah. He is our Heath Ledger Voldemort.
Definitely is. But shout out to our guy Joe from the shift. Appreciate you for tuning in, brother. We just talking the Hall of Fame right now. Torrey Hunter is going to be on the ballot for the third time. Jimmy Rollins for the second time. And you know what's weird too? Hold on, where's this guy's at? We're here. Bobby Abreu, right? If you just say the name Bobby Abreu and you think about it, you're like, oh, Bobby, he's not a Hall of Famer. But if you look at his numbers, he played how many seasons he played? He played a
He
few
played with
amount of
Houston, Philly, and a bunch of teams.
yeah, he played with Houston, Philly, Tampa, the Yankees, the
Angels.
Angels, and he finished his career with the Dodgers. But when you look at his career, he has over 400 stolen bases. He has over 2,400 hits. He has over hold on, wait. He has over 1,000 runs scored. He's a 291 career lifetime hitter. When it comes to stolen bases, like I said, he has 400 stolen bases, was only caught 128 times. He has over 1,400 walks. So when it comes to his numbers kind of stand out as a borderline Hall of Famer. But if I was to say, hey, TC, is Bobby Abreu a Hall of Famer to you? Off the top of your head, you'd probably be like, oh, no, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
No, first thing I would say no. But you got to deep dive into the numbers. And what helps these guys is the longevity, the many years that they played. That's what hurts Don Mattingly. Because in the short period of time he played, and I'll always fight for him because he was my favorite player. And if he's not in the Hall of Fame, then I'm not even touching these guys. These guys are, the seasons he had blow away these guys. The 330s, the 350s, and the 40 home runs, 140 RBIs. Would he have 30, 40 strikeouts a year? You're not going to find a player like that anymore. And
absolutely.
These guys, they played 15, 16, 17. Would you say Lofton played 17? Vizquel played what, 16, 15, 17 years?
Yeah, and Don Mattingly, he played 14 years. 14, that is somewhat that's longevity-ish.
Yeah,
it's
those
right
last
on the
couple
borderline.
years, the back injury, those last 2-3 seasons,
And
he
like you said,
the
the highest amount of strikeouts he's had in a season was 43.
Exactly.
43. That's the most strikeouts he had in a season.
Unheard of.
In 14 years. Okay. In 83, he struck out 31 times. In 84, he struck out 33 times. In 85, 41. 86, 35. 87, 37. 38. 88, 29. 89, 30. 1990, he only struck out 20 times in a season. 91, 42. 92, 43. 93, 42. 94, 24. And in 1995, his last season, he batted 288, only struck out 35 times. He had how many 7 home runs, but he did have over 70 RBIs in his last year.
So maybe when Hicks is talking all that 30 for 30 garbage, this is what he really should be focusing on.
Yeah.
Yeah, over 30 strikeouts. Yo, Sunil, you're hilarious.
Donaldson at a homestand, 40 strikeouts.
Oh yeah, and once in one 4-game series, that's Donaldson right there.
Yeah.
Please don't say that name. I mean, I could have a whole lot of gamma radiation and the Geiger counter right here waiting.
But no, when you look at the numbers that Don Mattingly put up, and how many in 1984, he had 207 hits. He led Major League Baseball. 1985, 211 hits. He led the American League. 1986, he had 238 hits. He led Major League Baseball. So for 3 seasons in a row, he led at least the American League when it comes to hits. So if Don Mattingly is not a Hall of Famer, I don't know what a Hall of Famer is, especially when you look at it in 14 years and only 14 seasons, he has over 2,100 hits.
Yep. Yeah, I don't understand the argument. What are they arguing against?
They say the longevity. I'm looking at it's 14 years. If you want to say that he didn't play, his prime was only from 84 to 89 before he started getting injured. Copy. But when you look at his numbers from 1984, he had 100. In 1984, he had 110 runs batted in. 1985, he set the Yankees record with 145 runs batted in. Then 113, 115, then 88, then 113. 88 is when his back started barking. But even in 89, with a bad back, he still had 113 runs batted in.
Yep.
Yeah, if you watched baseball in the 80s and 90s, he was the best player.
8 straight grand slams or something.
Yeah. 8. What do you have? 8 in a season. He had 8 home runs in a row.
What's crazy about Mattingly is that before that season, when he hit 8 grand slams, he didn't hit not 1 grand slam in his entire career. Right. But just that one season, he had 8 grand slams in just one season. When you look also
87.
his other accolades, Caputos, what it do? He was an all-star from 1984 into 1989. He was the MVP in 1985. He finished top 5 in MVP voting in 84, 85, 86, and 87. No, 80 in 1987, he finished 7th when it comes to MVP voting. So for 3 seasons, he finished top 5. 4 seasons, he finished top 10. Let's see. He was an all-star game MVP for 1 all-star. Yeah, man, gold glove, silver slugger, silver. He had 5 seasons in a row where he won a silver slugger. He had 6 seasons in a row when he won a gold glove. Come on.
Look what he did in the '95 series against the Mariners.
Knowing that was going to,
he nearly brought down the stadium when
goodness.
Gary Thorne's call.
Back home runs, with Sierra and him. Yeah, that was
God.
First of all, even to this day, I can rewatch that Ruben Sierra home run. That was the sweetest pimp home run ever. He hit his If one thing Ruben Sierra was good for, he was good for giving you a nice little pimp home run. That's one thing Ruben Sierra was good for, even at his old age. Styling and profiling. I remember I had an interview with Jim Larritz, former Yankees catcher, and he said when it comes to Ruben Sierra, one thing Ruben Sierra was good at was wearing colorful suits. One thing Ruben Sierra cared about was his outfits, and Ruben Sierra came every day with either a hot pink suit, a hot orange suit, but his statement was his suit game. That's one thing that that Jim Larritz told me. My man Joe said Mattingly should get in. His WAR is on the lower end because of the teams he was on. WAR is such a deceiving stat sometimes. Yeah, it definitely could be. It's just like win losses, right? Because when you look at Mel Stoudemire and his performance with the Yankees, he already had a solid ERA, but he was on horrible Yankee teams. He even lost 19 games in one season. He won that's unheard of, bro. He lost 19 in one, he lost 17 in another, and he lost 18 games in another.
Crazy.
Those are just horrible Yankee time. But guys, we're about to wrap it up. It's 12:26. I think everybody loves Ruben Sierra as well. My guy Ocean View Coffee Cafe loves him. My man Joe from the shift as well. Guys, appreciate everyone for tuning in. TC Stills, appreciate you, my guy, for helping me out, being my special co-host for today. We're definitely going to do some more. And like I'm saying, during the season, and as we get close to the season, I'll have different times when different people who are normally on the open panels will come and help me do the hosting duties. But guys, Sunil, TC, any last words before we dip out?
How do you like my new Twitter handle? It's there.
Oh, I love it. A hemorrhoid named Hicks. I love it.
Well, I'm just gonna close with this. Basically, somebody. I mean, if Donaldson were to watch one of the Creed movies, no. The narrative is not one punch out at a time, one swing at a time, and all that. It's not that. All right. So I think we could redo the Creed narrative just on his baseball, ethics and his entire season. And if we see that in 23, 2 words, Andres Chaparro, please just bring the kid up. He deserves it.
Oh God.
Yes,
man. Andres Chaparro, my friend, and I'm gonna keep my friend Andres Chaparro needs to be up here with the Yankees.
Indeed.
It sucks that he got sent down, but it was a great way for us just to get a little taste of Chappie. So just make sure Chappie will come up during the season. So depending if it'll be in the middle of the season, September, whatever, we will see Andres Chaparro at the major league level. But TC, any last words before we dip out, brother?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to for having me on the show. Love it. And do it anytime. Sunil, good job. I'm ready to go. Let's go. Let's start. Let's stop spring training. Let's just get into it. Let's go.
Yeah, let's jump in the time machine. What is it? 88 miles per hour we got to get before we're able to jump into the future.
88, Doc. 88.
But no, guys, appreciate you guys as well. If you guys have Instagram, make sure at 1:30 you tune into my man Scott Braun, who's a friend of the channel, friend of the show. He's launching his podcast called The Foul Territory, which will have other major league and former major league players contributing as well. I'll be in the chat, so make sure you guys tune in. It's at 1:30. But like always, peace, salutation, and wake up and get your mother loving coffee. We out. Peace.